Hey guys, it's Tarn coming at you with another game of Hollow Knight Silksong. We're at 92% and I'm just trying to find something, anything to do. What was I doing over here? I don't recall. Where is here? I'm in the Blasted Steps, clearly. Over here, I guess we're gonna keep on. I think we're just sort of, trying to tread back over ground we'd been down to see if we can maybe we can get something else. I love the Blasted Steps music. I got really mad about this zone whenever I was in it, though. I found it very frustrating for the last judge run back, but I'm glad I stuck with it. Alright, not like that. Shaw! Hi, them tricks. How are you? Have you seen my little hornet thing? One of my friend's siblings 3D printed me a little hornet thing. Here against a book for scale. Really, so it'll show up against the background. I'm afraid I will break it if I put it into my hand. It's not super thick or heavy or anything. But yes, Shaw! Ha. And she's gone. I don't think we've been back since we fought her, but she's playing the song here. Give us any knowledge. It will not. Well, I'm not trying to break her house. Just sometimes you get, sometimes you can get to somewhere secret, you know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to break her stuff. She was nice. I don't think that's gonna do it. No, indeed not. Mario Try Cuphead? Yeah, you know, that's on my list. I haven't played it. It sounds really cool. You know, I think like my brother played it. I saw, yeah, I know he would have with one of our other friends, but you know, he had it on whatever console, I guess, you know, that he was playing it on, not on PC. And we, you know, I don't have a console or whatever. I have a Switch, but you know, I don't really play it. But most of the stuff that he gets are like, you know, PlayStation games or whatever, so... We do have a shared Steam library, but it's largely my games because I have 1,000. And he has plenty of very good games, you know, but I have 1,000, so it's mostly my stuff. Was it $5.50 for these annoying little dudes things? It's like a spool or some odd, right? No, 680. That's so many more than I remembered. Oh. So this is still here. Oh. I didn't realize they were still here. That gets me. I see. That's good stuff. Hey, Liam. Oh, it's going. We're at 92% now. And I'm kind of trying to find stuff. I'm not very good at it. The only things I know to definitely do, I don't want to do. Because I hate Flea Juggle. But other than that, you know, I've been making it. Playing stuff, some good games. Yeah, we're at 92 now, and any day now I'm gonna give up. Have I gotten all the memory lockets? No, I have not. Make someone complete Hollow Knight and Silksong with one sitting. I'm sure there are people that could do that in just like 12 or 13 minutes, right? Not me. I'm sure I would do very badly at even trying to beat Hollow Knight or Silksong again. Because while, like, in Silksong, like, I feel like I have the chops, I would have to get the Wanderer's Crest immediately. 100%? Oh, yeah, that would take. I definitely don't even know how to do that. Because, like, even if I had to play Hollow Knight again, it's, like, I would remember a lot of it, right? But I couldn't tell you the order of playing it. I barely remember the first of Hollow Knight at all. And I only, like, scarcely remember the beginning of this. Like, don't you, like, you climb up on ledges because you can't wall kick yet and you can't dash. And it's all very annoying. And your pogo is terrible and diagonal. And then, like, eventually you get Wanderer's Crest and then you can be happy, right? Yeah, I remember how the game goes. But, like, in Hollow Knight, I even barely remember... Just has that. But I do remember precisely how to get the Wanderer's Crest very early. Although, like, the internal map here of the Wormways, I'd probably forget, like, exactly, you know, okay, straight through, straight, left, down, you know. But, like, I know what to do. I know how to do this thing. You know, I definitely remember how to beat that boss there, the mini boss. So like I could do it just like I did the first time, only better, because like I'm such a better player now. And then, you know, and then it's just a matter of farming up the money for the door, right? Which you do right here. Which, I mean, sure, it would be grinding, but I feel like you just gotta do that. And then you have to make, like, the trade-offs for time and safety, right? Like, do you farm up enough rosaries so that you can put them on a string so that you'll be able to, you know, get the fast travel point in the benches and stuff? Or do you risk it? I think on the first one, I would just do it all at once. We're gonna go say hi to Sherma, because I don't know what to do. But, you know, the thing is, there's still stuff to do, but it's like mini-game things, and I don't care. I don't. Like, I'll quit a game without beating a mini-game. That doesn't bother me. You saying Hollow Knight doesn't the map work like an actual map? I don't know. That definitely depends on what you mean. I would say all maps work like actual maps, and if they don't, then they aren't maps. But that's a little too reductive, isn't it? But I would say the point of an actual map is that it shows you a representation of a thing without you having to go there first. So, in point of fact, I would say the maps in Hollow Knight work the opposite of how an actual map is supposed to work. I could acquire a map of Anglo-Saxon Britain, and it would be very difficult for me to go there if you sold me a map and explained to me that if I were to go to 7th century Anglo-Saxon Britain, the map would fill in. I would not want to pay you for the map. The map doesn't work. That's not a map. You see what I'm saying? And, yeah, they don't fill any extra boxes in for you, though. There's a game called Etrian Odyssey that I once accidentally bought, where you have, it's like, it's made by Atlas, I think. It's made by some RPG studio that I really like. but and I think it's Atlas because I would have been playing like SMT5. Not important. But in that game, you have to like create your own map, and if you don't, then you just like don't get. It's not like Diablo, where if you just eventually go everywhere, you'll definitely make it to where you want to be. Like if you don't do it, if you don't make a map, you can't get it. Oh, this is joking. Oh no! Get wrecked. You can't run away from me. I'm gonna get my rosary. Ow. But anyway, Wanderer's crest is just like, it's so good. And all the other crests are so slow, like you don't feel like a graceful, like, red maned and death like everybody calls you. Like, those 3 hits, like, that's so much faster than you can swing with, like, the Hunter's Crest. Anyway. I'm a wanderer. That's who I am. But really, you know, it was just for the pogo not being diagonal that I liked it originally. Yeah. Hide your rosaries, hide your shards. She out here robbing everybody. Like, what was in here? I just don't remember anything, right? You know, it may be time to accept it. We're never gonna find anything new. No, I guess I can go lose Flea Juggle. After all, after losing Flea Juggle, a person could get something new. Haha, yeah! You know, we took a couple hits there, but a nice little parry flurry there. Feels good. Get wrecked. I love this zone. This is my idea of like a good dark zone. It's not too dark. It's dark for the ambiance, you know. The enemies were cool, super obnoxious, but cool. Hey, we finally filled out that entry. Good. You think it's fine if she's canonically attractive? Well, yes, but I mean that guy is also a creep. He might have creeped on anyone. Because creepy people, you know, they, or fleas, you know, they're creepy all the time. They don't just wait for a princess spider with the blood of the dragon to come in, you know, like they're creepy waking up in the morning. Like, what new place did we fill in on the map? I don't even know. It says we did somewhere, though. Oh! Here, that finally filled in. That's nice. I'm really glad that finally filled in. That was annoying. So we have to think that there's somewhere to fill in over here. That just stands to reason, right? And does that also then mean that there's something to fill in over here and there? Is there supposed to be a cap on these things? I guess we should investigate the slab again, or here. Maybe we can try to soar there. Have we really not tried that yet? Interesting. Of ranked flirting? Yes. Or, flirting done for entertainment purposes. In my youth, there was a terrible television show that we all watched because it was trashy. It was called Next. And there would be a person, and then there would be like a bus of people for them to be potential romantic partners on a date, right? So, the first person would come out and, whoever was doing it, if they didn't like them or they gave an answer they didn't like, or they would just say next, and that was the show, and then that person had to leave, and the next person came off of the bus, and so that would be like ranked flirting, I think, or like flirting with immediate social and like consequences, because people judged you. I'm sure I didn't know anyone that went on that show. I wished I did. And then you could have made fun of them for it forever. Or congratulated them for their successful date, I guess. I don't know. I know some smooth people. Maybe they could have made it work. Yes, long before the rise of dating apps. But this would have been a show on, I think, MTV. It could have been VH1. They sort of competed back in the day. They were close together on there. But anyway, we didn't have cable at home, not really, like for a very brief period of time overall. But, I'd be sitting around at my friends' houses and, they'd put whatever on. I've seen all sorts of funny, trashy reality TV of that era. That's why sometimes I'll pretend like I'm better than other people. And I'm like, well, you did watch every episode of Exhibit's Pimp My Ride that ever existed. I'm like, yeah, but that was different. Exhibit changed that guy's life. He put an aquarium in his car. To be clear, I have an ironic view of the show, but I did watch it with my friends. And afterward, I had a good time. I don't really watch stuff like that anymore. There's too much interesting things in the world, right? The scripted reality TV stuff. I would rather watch one person who's like really, really into a thing talk about some aspect of it that I hadn't thought about, like some lady that's super into doors or something, like I would totally watch like an hour of her talking about doors before I would want to watch like, anything like Next again. As funny as the memory is, I don't recognize this place at all. I'm like, I know what this guy's gonna do. I don't want to die in here. We might have to bounce. Nah, we're fine. Where is this? Oh, over here, sure. I don't really remember the context in which we're in this place. Like, is this where you start out at? Kinda, when you get into the Citadel? Like, I don't really remember the order. Power backwards, probably no, for real. I'll say what I say every time. Biowater was a mistake. Maybe they're proud of it, but, not everybody's right, Well, that was certainly a loop. Okay, so I guess we... Well, no, going from slab will probably be... Yeah, I mean, same difference. Truly, we need to get rid of this money, though. Oh, we've got enough. Good deal. It was 680, so yeah. Actually, we will go back to the Bell Beast. Started playing hardcore Diablo 2 again. I can just tell my character's about to die. I've been acting dumb. Just like, only like 4 times, but Diablo's a very punishing game. It'll really, you know, if you walk in the wrong door and you stay there for like a couple of seconds, that kills a character. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to just walk in a door. But I did it a couple of times. I got away with it because it's like early in the game, but like I just feel like me being dumb is gonna catch up to me so quick. It'll be alright. The most fun part of Diablo is making a new character and running around with your skeletons. So, you know, when you die, you get to do more of that. Sort of like Minecraft Hardcore, only I am not good enough to not die in Diablo. Nobody's good enough to not die in Diablo. You have to be very careful, and even then you can die. You know, Minecraft's too easy. I'm joking. It's not too easy. It's wonderful. I need to play it again one of these days. I've been putting it off. Got like a... It's complicated. It's not really that complicated. I feel like I'll get emotional and I don't feel like it. I prefer to evade. Didn't somebody beat every Souls game? No deaths? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know the guy's name, like screen name or real name or whatever, but that definitely is somebody's accomplishment. You gonna come at night? No, nice. You have to let me know how it goes. I have watched a history of the Cuphead World Records. It wouldn't let me know anything about the bosses. You know, Summoning Salt has a wonderful way of, like, making you feel engaged with the gaming story he's telling, even if it's, like, not a game you've played. But I never feel afterward like, oh, now I know too much, you know, now that game, you know, now I know how to play it, you know. Obviously, how could I? Hey, Minikman. No, there's definitely a dude who... You know, the story, I think, was just that they started, you know, with the Souls game, and then, like, pretty early on, you know, working towards hitless stuff, all that kind of thing, and it was sort of their thing. And then more Souls games kept coming out, and then they just kept on, you know, adding them to the run, basically. And, yeah. I feel like we've tried this already, but I also feel like the map should cap out. Heh. Later, Liam. Thanks for stopping in. See you some other time. Alright. Not promising, right? Can't wall kick. Not promising. Nah. Wait, what? Found someplace. All right, now we're talking. It's not up of where we were, but hey, it's something. Oh. And we get a Weaver effigy. That's one of those items that you can turn into the guy for things. They are a nuisance, and I have only myself to blame. Still have 10 more enemies to meet. Maybe we'll meet one of them here. Ah. tough. I don't know if we can even break that one. Oh my goodness. I'm like, wait, no, the bench isn't there. Of course it isn't. Well, that's a self-contained series of rooms, it looks like, but we go back. How through here? How was it? Oh, you just fall and I never did that? Makes sense. Huh. Oh. Yes, let's dash right into it. I've been robbed. In a prison? Thieves? Hello, Spampton Giga Heals, how are you? You spam a ton of Giga Heals, I assume? Like you like a priest or a paladin? You a sage or a druid? Shaman? Oh no, they got me. Cleric? I'm like, that's another one. Hey Kiara, how are you? Making ravioli at 1 in the morning. Interesting. What level of intensity is the ravioli making taking? Are we talking like getting ravioli out of a bag that's in the freezer and boiling some water for it? Or is it out of a can? Are you making the ravioli? Inquiring minds want to know. And let me just say, before you answer, before I hear it, all ravioli is okay with me, you know. I'm not the judge of a figure skating competition. All ravioli is perfect. Cause like, while I've been to an actual restaurant before and pretend to be a gentleman, I also eat canned ravioli. And I'll, you know, That's who I am. We didn't get to have it a lot growing up, you know. Crane Ravioli was too, like, that was pretty high-toned, right? You made it a month ago, handmade, put it in first portions of frozen. Awesome. Classic. See, that's the good stuff, because, as I'm sure you know, I mean, you know, you get a bunch of that done, and then that's the right way to do it. It's like, there's a bunch of things that, specifically dumpling things that go there really well. The, like, they're called, gyoza. I'm probably saying it wrong. I say everything wrong. But little, like, pork, dumplings that you get, you know, a bunch of places. But, like, these specific ones, like, that I think of, you know, like, that you would get at, like, a Japanese restaurant. Or that I always get at a Japanese restaurant. Anyway, not important. But when you make them up, you can you freeze just tremendous amounts of them and then just like grab them and prep them, you know, as you want them. Which I haven't done in many years, but once upon a time I helped somebody prep a bunch of them, a friend of mine. And then I promptly forgot all the lessons they were teaching me while we did it. Because that's who I am. I can never learn from other people. It's a bad personality trait. Nah, it's being slightly unfair to myself. I've learned from other people before, I just can't remember any examples. Can't go up there? Interesting. Can't wait for Ravioli to be done, and yet you must. Truly a hard knock life, right? You're a healer of indeterminate origin and in scope. Got it. Fair enough. I used to play healers back in WoW and stuff. Not totally exclusively, but almost. Like, my first character would generally be one, you know. And then I would want to be a tank. And then I'll play, like, action RPGs and want to be a healer, and then they're like, oh, you don't need a healer in this game. I'm like, no healer? What's the support do? They're like, I don't know, cast poison on people? I'm like, okay, sounds fun. From Guild Wars. No, I think they had healers. I just didn't, you know, I didn't play a ton of Guild Wars. That was when I was playing WoW, and my friends wanted to play, you know, that instead, but they didn't get as into it as they, you know, may have. Oh, right, that's internal space. Spam 10G, spam from Deltarune. I haven't played Deltarune yet. That must be why I did not pick up on that. I'll play it someday, I'm sure. Now I understand. Well, I mean, some. Alright, so What have we learned? Not a lot. We found that room. The map getting filled in over here made me feel like there should be like an edge at the top of all the maps, which made me feel like there should be an edge above this map, but we can't. And there, but nothing we were doing there was successful, which really is too bad. I don't know. Did I get the biowater one, or am I doing process elimination? The biowater what? We basically were just running through, we just ran through some of the game and by steps and just going around. I was trying to find something up there maybe, but it doesn't, it was not a very fruitful thing to do. Oh. Coming in with a steel chair. Oh. That's an annoying place to fight that guy. I'm like, wait, no, the floor... I was in Blasted Lands mode. I was like, the floor is lava. The floor is not lava. The floor is nice, cool stone. There was a riddle about some kind of burial and how it wasn't a good one. I do not remember the exact wording, if the exact wording is important. Ow. Then I will not remember the exact words, sorry. Yeah, just a couple real nice development things. We've already done this one. Yeah, because they would be all... We were just here earlier, right? Maybe? I don't know. Spam ton gigas. 2004, 68 defense and 5 KHP. That is interesting. That does sound like a tank. I was going, you know, it was annoying in its way, but it wasn't so bad. I remember thinking it was a little much when we did it, right? But we can stand on the thing every now and then, but yeah, we're just gonna need to... Oh, come on now. But I'm so, like, I don't remember, like, so much of the stuff that happened. Like, I'm like, what did we even do here? I'm like, what? We came in here, we had to get the songs. Like, what did we do for them? I'm like, was there a gauntlet for one? I think so. Like you were talking earlier, like, how long it would take me to beat Hollow Knight again. And, like, to beat the boss, the Hollow Knight, I could do that, and I think, you know, it wouldn't take me 30 minutes to get reacclimated to the game to beat him. I don't really remember what's going on, but look, I beat the Hollow Knight like 50 or, I don't know, 70 times I can count, maybe more than that, all the way to beating the Radiance, right? Like, we beat the brakes off that dude. I could beat him again. I don't remember how to get the dash. I don't remember how to get the double jump, right? I don't remember how to get all the magic spells I never used. It depends on the speedrunning Silksong. I'm just trying to find the right day to do it, and then I'm like, you know, it's not like I'll be able to do it. And oh man, steel chair, what a hit! I was down to 2, and I did not realize. Pretty rough. Well, not that inconvenient, honestly. But yeah, you know, I don't wanna do like. I have zero intention of doing like the glitch speedrun, but like a glitchless any percent is absolutely a thing that I'd be interested in pursuing. But yeah, I totally want to go for the 5-hour thing. But the thing is too, is it's like, how much time do I have to dedicate to getting the Wanderer's Crest at the beginning? Because is it like, how long does it take to farm that money? Is it like 15 or 20 minutes? That's a lot of time. Because I have to farm Wanderer's Crest. Like, I don't know how to play this game without it. I'd be like playing it for the first time. You want to see a poor performance trying to get through Hunter's March, make me do a diagonal pogo. This room's wild, right? Like, how are we supposed to get in through there? Just like... There we go, split them. And a Void Heart, too, man. That is crazy. Yeah, Wanderer's Crest is my bread and butter. I can't leave home without it. I basically throw a fit every time the game tries to make me use something else. Yeah, see, so my route... Like, I don't actually know how to use that. I was like, I wanted the mouse for going around my route. So you you go in here, you farm the money for the key before you dash. You kill this dude up here. You drop down to get Wanderer's Crest before you learn to dash. I don't even remember where you learn to dash, but it's not like here. And you go and get Wanderer's Crest first, and then after you get the dash, you can go up here through the Wormways and then travel all the way through Shellwood and Belhard backwards. And then you get here and you realize you need the ability to travel upwards. So then you go back down here and go wherever forward. Where do you learn to dash? Here? Anyway, once I learned to dash, because I had already been in the wormways, and I knew that if I could dash, I could continue onward, we went back over there, and then just never went back till we had to. I don't know about like that's just how I did my Silksong run. That was my route. I saw the little because if you're not, you're probably familiar, but there's a little there's some bells here, and there's like a little flying beetle that goes around it, and I looked at it and I said to myself, I bet you can wait for that to get to a specific point and bounce over it, and it looks like there might be something cool over there. And that was the last time I had a good idea about exploring in this whole game. Wait. That looks like you can go down there, doesn't it? That totally looks like there's something down there. We'll have to pursue that. Or is that where the whole Heart of the Forest thing was? I don't remember anything. So they never go. I wouldn't. You know, I'm an ignorant person, so I wouldn't think that you could go without dash and get up there, but clearly they know how. I would have thought that you have to get dash to traverse through this room. Because you move in here, and then there's a space right here where I wouldn't think that you can get through without being able to dash, but, you know, some people are built differently than I. Heal strats. I don't know what that is. Can I guess? Where you heal in the air and that buffers your position in order to do something somehow? Yeah, so as you get up, I know people were telling me about, like, in Hollow Knight, you could, which made a lot more sense, you could get your shade and manipulate where it was at in order to get through things. I actually tried to do that with my cocoon right here into Memoriam, because, like, my cocoons kept generating. It was before I had double jump. I didn't know where it was, and I kept thinking, like, man, if I could just get my cocoon right there, I could get up in there, but... yeah, like, I guess in... because, like, in a speedrun, you wouldn't even be getting your fast travel points, maybe? See, I don't even know. My idea of speedrunning would be so bad. I'd be like, alright, now we have to farm up 1,000 rosaries for the key and for the stuff so that we can buy benches later. Alright, I don't think we're gonna find anything. Man, this song's so good. Oh, one of these guys. How miserable. I've got one of those too, you know? Aha! Avast! Spectrum, you say another fact about your persona is... Oh, he's got like slime rules from Final Fantasy. Super high defense, but not the magic resist. Cool. I don't remember why I have this mark. On the map here. Maybe I got frustrated with the platforming and said I would come back someday. I don't remember. I'm a wanderer. Close right goes through the mist if I find him. Man, that I would not be so good at playing the game without like all my abilities. That's rough. It's like my idea of speedrunning it would just be to like try to go pretty quick and do everything like I normally do, you know? Like no extra steps, no extra quests, you know, but just, you know, get the crest and then try to get up to the gate and then try to get the song and try to kill Grandmother Silk. But like in my head I would have to have the cloak. I would have to have, you know, the dash and the wall climb and all that. Alright, that mark on the map is no longer needed. I don't know why I put it there, but we investigated. Can I just say, this is a terrible place for a void heart. Oh my goodness. Can I just... Yes, okay. We're just gonna cheese it with this tool, cause... Or die. But these things are like real mighty, right? No, not that way. There we go. Man. And then she laughs in the background. I mean, shut up, Lace. Indeed. They don't even give Silk, and what an obnoxious place to be, right? This song's so good, though. Almost makes me willing to put up with all of it. Alright, well. Alright. Guess we'll try to go dig up graves. Biowater, my most hated. Alright, let's get the wreath. Instead of shield? I mean, yeah, probably. More missing good silk, yeah. You know, that it really is too bad that they can't see it in their heart to make them give silk. This wreath is so good at keeping the infection off. It's such a good item. And someone was talking about it, and they're like, well, it's not that good. It only keeps it off for like 8 seconds. I'm like, 8 seconds? But like, that's so long. Alright. Alright, well, it wasn't the exhaust thing where the burial was. Let's move on, I guess. Yeah, once I got this thing, I rarely, you know, when I had it on, noticed it breaking, really. But, I mean, I had already cleared biowater. Though, obviously, you have to come back. But I had already cleared it by the time I even got the item, which is incredibly obnoxious. Oh yeah, those explosions do hurt one another. Safe to process elimination of doing. Well, I don't know if I would characterize it as such. More walking around aimlessly. Process of illumination implies there's like a process or a methodology behind what I'm doing here, and I think that is an overly credulous view on my planning and processing of the future of Silksong here. Like, I would not describe it in such lofty terms. I'm just wandering around and hoping that I find something, right? And, you know, probably I won't. Ha! Ha! Pathetic. Save away vocabulary. I originally had intended to be an English major, but that's, you know, that didn't work out. College didn't work out that time or any time. Anyway, it didn't work out for me. No, I read lots of books. And I've always thought that, like, having this sort of, like, overly flowery and ornate manner of speaking was kind of fun, so... Yeah, no, There's a Modest Mouse song where the line is, you know, he's talking about, you know, impressive people, so he's like, you remember that guy who said all the big words he must have learned in college? But I learned most all of the big words I learned before college. And indeed, like, whenever I was, you know, rather a small child, although I was much more obnoxious about using it then, if you would believe it. Oh, yeah, there might be, like, one on there, but yeah. And most of them many times. Those aren't even all my books, that's just all the books in this shot. There's also books there, I got a bookshelf there, and then in there, and then on the other, like in the other room, because there's not enough wall space. There's not enough wall space for it. Better story than Shakespeare. Well, right now, yeah, sure. Zombies don't do a lot of thinking. No, that's a bit crass, I guess, but he's been dead a super long time, so it's not like too soon type of thing, you know. After 300 years, you can't expect me to be overly sensitive about it. 10 generations, right? But no, I would not. Whenever I was younger, you know, I was even more vain than I am now. But now I try to do, like, you know, the Socrates thing, where I accept that there's a large amount of things that I don't know anything at all about, and you know, try to appreciate other people's expertise, such as it is, and then judge them very harshly if they don't exhibit it. No, I'm not like I'm such an unpleasant person. I just you know, like I say all the time, you guys are seeing me at my best. I'm in my room. It's comfortable in here. It's not too hot, not too cold. No one's like bothering me, because like I am a guy where, you know, we're all humans, we're all subject to our environment or whatever, but you can get a wildly different output out of this human machine if the room, like, sort of changes a little bit, you know? If it gets too bright or too noisy or too loud, like, you will see a very human performance out of me. Is it here? Is it because this is where my hopes and dreams went to die? This room This room is evil. You can break that thing as many times as you want. It keeps on coming back. Yeah, well, you know, humility can be sincere, but it can also be like a shield against criticism. Right? If you're like better at, like, you know, shooting basketballs into the hoop than everyone in the whole world, right? People like you better if you don't say so. Some people like a braggart, but in general, most people will judge you for being too proud of what separates you from others, right? And I think for good enough reason. You know, you don't want... Nobody wants someone to sit around and tell them how much better they think than they do, right? Humorously, so people do this thing where they come up to me and they're like, hey, you're a smart guy, right? And I immediately go, what do you want? Because they're I mean, sure, it's true, but no one comes up and describes you that way unless they want something from you. But no, there's a line that Kurt Vonnegut used all the time that I really like, where he's like, I don't really know anything, dogs and cats know more than I do. Because, like, to me, like, where are we? Here? Really? Oh, okay, sure. Like, the things that I'm not capable of doing so fluidly as the... Like, that's what hangs me up. Like, my inability to appropriately analyze what's going on. My like, dizzying ability to, like, be overly literal one moment and then, like, the very next minute understand what's going on in a poem. Like, something about the artistic experience connects with me in a way that, like, actual human beings that are beside me often fail to. It's very unpleasant, and I consider those things, like, every bit as important, or more so, as, like, the general markers of intelligence, because, like, I am so bad at, like, going through the world and doing things. I'm a fountain of anxiety about it, and I have to basically rehearse everything I do before I do it. Not like these speeches. This speech about my life is, you know, this is like a one on the shelf. A lot of times you'll find me doing, like, stock phrases, you know, we'll import a whole conversation and jam it in. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember. I've got a way that I describe myself, and then I inflict it on others. Oh no, I've been struck. Alright, so... we'll go into Biowater in the reverse way. Maybe there'll be a grave. But, you know, there's a lot of of reasons and examples of, like, my things that I would use to explain my sort of you know, characteristic turn of phrase. But a lot of it is just because, like, my family growing up, you know, my parents were religious and stuff, so we were always reading the Bible, specifically, like, the King James Bible, so which is written in, you know, very archaic English, and it's not at all just automatic to understand, but like a huge part of my life as a child, basically every night and basically every morning, was sitting around and, you know, reading religious texts in words 400 years ago, basically. And if I didn't understand something, or any of the other kids in my family didn't understand something, you know, we would break down, you know, what was going on in there. So that's sort of like literary analysis of words and concepts you don't like. No, like that's just like, I've been doing that my whole life. And so, you know, talking like a book, which is a hysterical thing to say to somebody for literary reasons. But it's something people say to me every now and then I laugh really hard because I know they don't know the reference, and then I refuse to explain it to them. Same very good with you had the AI said that for you. Said, well, I'm sure you'll find that eloquence, like all skills, can be practiced, and it's nice of you to say. But, you know, it's as fun as it can be to play around with AI stuff. You know, I think it's our own words that have the value, right? We got our little silk guys. Is gaming like we've hashed in how it feels? Well, what a complicated question. I mean, I would say gaming is one of my great loves, for sure. Like that in literature. I would not characterize my life as following my passion as such. I mean, like, I have a job that I don't like in a field that I don't like personally connect with. You know, like, I've worked in libraries before. I don't work in one now. I work in a restaurant, and that's fine. It's a reputable profession. You know, I try to do good work, and I think I sometimes do. But it's like, no, that's like, I wouldn't think of myself as someone who's lived a life of following their passion in that regard. In like a Buddhist sense, where following my desires leading to suffering, yes, I have followed my passions in that I allowed myself to do things based on my desire rather than on my philosophy, and every time I have done so, I have suffered for it. So yes, I have. But no, I love games. Whenever I was like a kid, you know, because I'm like an old person. Whenever I was a kid, and my parents would be like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Trying to get me to be, you know, something reputable, and I'm like, "I want to play video games." And they're like, "That one's not a job," and I'm like, "Fine, I'll be a lawyer." They get to argue, but I later learned that lawyers had to fill out lots of forms and do stuff on time. And I'm not really interested in doing any of that. Like, that's not my idea of a good life. Like, you know, it was a much more glamorous profession on TV. I'm like, they just have to, like, fill out forms, and if they don't, they get in trouble? That sounds terrible. And almost none of them get to say anything cool, and there aren't any cameras? I'm like, oh no, there's sometimes cameras. So you're worried about picking the wrong job for you and having to express drive. Well, I am like, oh man, I'm such the wrong guy to talk to, right? But I can offer you some solace in that. I'm like, how negative I want to be. Like, it doesn't matter what you do with your life. Look, the things that we do in order to economically provide for our present and our future, they matter. It's important that they work for whoever is doing it. Being unhappy in your job really stinks. It's look, like if you don't like, all right, burial. Do we play a thing here? These are bad burials. Hey, Neo. But so there's a line in a T.S. Eliot song poem, and you'll hear me quote it all the time. But it goes, "Life is very long," and I believe that. It isn't always, but if it isn't, then it is. And I mean, I know plenty of people, my friends, who pursued one thing in life and then, it didn't work out and they had to find a way to work with their expectations not working out, I know a couple of people who were school teachers, and being school teachers made them so miserable that they decided to go into, a field that they didn't go to college for at all because they hated being school teachers so much. And can I just say I sympathize so much. I too would hate being a teacher. People sometimes are like, you should be a teacher. I'm like, no, I'd be so upset. You have to show up on time. Look, like I said, I'm gonna give bad advice. I always give bad advice. That, like, I'm not like the devil. I don't have horns. I don't give good advice. I give bad advice. And my bad advice is what you do in life and how you feel about it. It depends so much more on you than it depends on your material possessions or your material position. You need enough to live, and it's important to have cool stuff too. That's great. But fundamentally, the struggles people have with happiness, with finding fulfillment, with the pursuit of what is good and beautiful and the things that they value, these are struggles that are not truly related to profession or anything like that. These are internal philosophical struggles that a person will blame for the way they feel inside. And look, if you don't have enough money for food, that's a different thing than what we're talking about here. But any crummy job in my country pays you enough that you can buy bread. But the cops will arrest you if you sleep in the road, so you have to pay rent too. Most crummy jobs in a lot of places give you enough for that. But hey, burials in one of these things maybe? It's like I have a bunch of friends with like really reputable professions, right? Like I'm personal friends with doctors and lawyers and pharmacists and engineers and stuff. Basically all of my good friends from high school and college went on to be successful people who went into the fields that they were interested in. And without getting into any of their stories, I can tell you right now that they are not all happy. They are basically all doing the thing that they dreamed about doing in very rewarding professions that are highly respected by society, where if you say, I'm a doctor, you impress people, and it doesn't make them happy. That is the way the world is. Now, it's important to get an education, and it's important to find things that, make sense for you. But nothing in the world will help you get away from yourself and your relationship with how you feel about the world while it will be mediated by economic concerns, will never be changed by them. You can never get away from yourself. And you'll see this absolutely all the time when people win a lottery or acquire a large amount of fame in a short amount of time, because it's, a trite little aphorism that money does not buy you happiness, but it is also an interesting thing that everybody expects it to. I have never had a shocking amount of money. I am sure it would not make me happy, however, because I have been in this ridiculous human body long enough to know that something like that does not cure what ails me, right? One of the noble truths of Buddhism is that existence is the source of suffering. Desire is the vehicle through which we experience that suffering, and there's a path to walk to lessen it and maybe eventually free ourselves from that suffering. I'm not going to be able to become the Buddha because I have a lot of money. Being poor isn't helping me either. But the things that keep us in pain as human beings do not go away when our material conditions get better. It is only the ailments caused by cruelty that are alleviated by this change in pressures. If you live in a terrible system that hurts you, getting out of that system will make you happier. But not compared to your daydreams. But all that to say, it's important to try to pursue a career that you do find interesting, because plenty of people do like their jobs. But, it's unlikely even that people who like their jobs are, you can get some fulfillment something. The great example, I'll use me without getting too dark about it, but I've worked in libraries before. I worked in the public library in high school, and I worked at the university library one of the times when I was in school. And I love libraries. To me, a library is the best place in the whole world. There's nothing better. There couldn't be, right? It's got books, and they just let you take them. It's great. I get all emotional just thinking about it, right? And I worked in them, and that didn't make me happy. The times when I was working in libraries, even though I loved my job, were some of the darkest in my life. And not because I wasn't following my dream with where I was working. I was, but I hadn't figured out then what I needed to do in order to make my way through the world. And because of that, having a job that suited me didn't matter over much. Now I've figured out a little more. I still have so far to go. But now I work a job that I don't think suits me very well, that I'm good at just because I try to get good at everything. I mean, you wouldn't know that from watching me play Hollow Knight. Not important. Forget all that. But I mean, my life is better now than it's ever been, but it's not because of my material conditions. And they haven't really improved. But my ability to stay above the rising of the tide has definitely, you know, improved throughout my life. Being a younger person was a lot of toughness for me. I didn't have a great time for a super long time. I still don't, you know, not getting too into it, but you know, better at it now. Seeing math makes you feel happy. Yeah. You know, I know a guy right now who is studying to be an accountant. And I'm not going to use him as an example, because he's a friend. But, it's a good job to have. And the thing is, right, a job that pays well and is always in demand and that you don't hate, if you can get that, most people would consider that a fantastic setup for the rest of your life. But I mean, it all depends on what you want to do. Some people, you know, hate math. I got a buddy who's a plumber. Let me tell you, most people in the world do not want to be dealing with the kinds of stuff that plumbers have to deal with, right? Who would? I mean, it's a super important job. It's a super important job, and it's lucrative, but it's gross, right? Of course it is. But, you know, literally somebody has to do it, and it's super important that it's done properly. And, you know, I would, you know, though I speak for my friend, I would say that I think he's happy, and I bet he would tell you that too. And what he does for a living is disgusting. He didn't want to do that whenever he was growing up, right? We're friends, I don't know what he wanted to do. It's not... The funny thing about being an adult is, like, by the time you're 30, nobody asks you what you wanted to do with your life anymore, because it can really hurt people's feelings. Not mine. I wanted to write immortal works of literature and then burn out like a Roman candle. Neither one of those things worked out. But, what a selfish and stupid man I was. And what a selfish and stupid man I am. Well, we did not find anything. That's okay. Running around Biowater wasn't too bad, though. You know, we dipped, we dived, we dodged, we ducked. Oh, it's 1 o'clock already. Jeez. I guess I started at like 11:15. Well. Oh. Alright, well, she's not buried, but that doesn't work. Well. Do I believe in reincarnation? I'm supposed to, but no, I don't. Buddhism's a philosophical framework for me. No disrespect to people who do believe in the literal aspects of that kind of thing, but I find it as it's a good way to organize my feelings about reality. I do not think that it is a description of reality. But I wish I believed in it. That is a thing that I definitely would like. I just don't, though. I'm a very materialist guy. Good old Sherman. But we do trust Sherman to lose the Enclave, indeed. So, well, I mean, we'll probably play another time or two. We didn't even go and fail at Flea Juggle, right? But yeah, I might be wrapping up this save before too long, and then we'll try to do a 5-hour run, see how far off we are on it. Maybe one of these days coming up on one of my days off. But anyway, that's all I got for you right now. It's nice to see all y'all here, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. Maybe I'll see you in another streamer video. Bye, awesome guy. Bye, dark sky. See you, Neo. Later, Spamton. Bye, Kiara. Bye, Limtrix. Bye, Liam and Minikman. Good to see all y'all, and that's all for me right now. I'll be around tomorrow, and maybe I'll see you there.